Happy Monday, everybody. All right, if you've been reading the financial section of the newspaper lately or watching the financial news on TV, you're seeing a lot of headlines that talk about the tariffs and their impact on the stock market, or interest rates, which impact businesses, which then impact stock market, or employment rates coming out of publicly traded companies, which affect the stock market. And the stock market can be the S&P 500 or the Dow or Nasdaq, or you might see some headlines about some individual stocks like Nvidia or the Magnificent Seven. But for the most part, it's really concentrated on the stock market. And as our viewers know, Greg and I have been saying that the stock market right now, it's just too overpriced. It's not a good value. It's not to say it can't go up even higher, but if it does, it's just even more overpriced, and it will come down. Now, does that make it good or bad? Neither. It's just overpriced. And what we like to do for our clients is buy low and sell high. And the stock market just is not a good opportunity to buy anything low right now. Now, what hasn't been in the news is what Greg and I really think is a good value right now in terms of buying low so that we can eventually sell high. And that's hard assets. Hard assets are the things that don't produce financial reports, or the things that come straight out of the earth. Like wheat and corn, gold and silver, and uh, oil, things that man takes out of the earth and then we use. Now, there is one hard asset that I've started to see in headlines recently, and you may have also, but you got to dig for it. It's usually on page 2 or 3 of any kind of financial section, but that's gold. Now, it's not making news because more people are investing in it. In fact, when you look at 401k plans across the country, which is the mass majority of individuals' retirement or investment accounts, less than 1% own gold. What we're seeing is a price in gold being driven by demand, mostly by central banks. And so gold is up about 40% year to date. Now, I'm not actually going to talk about gold today. I want to talk about silver. Now, gold is considered the currency of kings. Silver is considered the currency of ladies and gentlemen. Peasants, barter. Barter is considered the currency of peasants. And debt is considered the currency of slaves. So while the king's currency, gold, has been making headlines, it's the ladies and gentlemen's currency that I want to talk about today. Now, it's up even higher than gold right now, so far year to date, and yet it's not really making news. Here's the interesting thing, it's up a little more than gold, but in terms of the historic ratio, gold and silver typically have an equilibrium. And gold is still, or sorry, silver is still underpriced compared to what the price of gold is currently. Now, that ratio has tightened up to closer to historic ranges, but it's still off by a long shot. So, first of all, just when you look at the price of gold to silver, silver has a lot of opportunity to continue its run up. Here's the other thing, though, it's demand. That's what's really catching my attention right now. Now, so little of gold is used for industrial purposes. Silver, on the other hand, massive use for industrial purposes. If you're watching this on a smartphone, thank silver. If you're watching this on a TV, thank silver. If you're watching it on a laptop, thank silver. If you got milk out of your fridge today, thank silver. If you drinking your milk out of a clean glass because it was run through a dishwasher, thank silver. Our military, we can thank our military for keeping us safe. You can thank silver for that. There's massive amounts of silver in artillery and weapons manufacturing. And why silver? Well, first of all, it conducts electricity like nobody's business. It is more expensive than copper, and so it's not the go-to choice. But when you need maximum conductivity, silver's the way to go. It also has clean properties, which is why you see it in hospitals, in dishwashers, in water filtration systems. So silver is massive. Oh, cars, electric cars, batteries. Oh, solar panels. Massive amounts of silver are going into solar panels. Here's the other thing. So we're growing in our technology. growing and growing and growing. Now, little elementary kids have smartphones. Well, that's a lot of silver right there in their hands. But the demand is outpacing the supply. We got to pull silver out of the ground. And for the last 4 or 5 years, there's been a deficit. We're using more silver than we're pulling out of the ground. We can't pull it out fast enough, actually. And it's not just the United States, it's globally. Around the globe, we're not pulling it out fast enough. Now, China they're aggressively mining, but they're even more aggressively building solar panels and then trying to sell them to the United States. But they're actually using them in their own country as well, as they're in an energy race for energy independence. They're doing solar panels, they're doing nuclear power plants, they're doing liquid natural gas, they're doing coal plants. Anything that can produce energy, they're tapping into it. So that's where I see a lot of the potential. It's not just the ratio, it's just straight supply and demand. So it's one of the metals I'm actually excited about, and yet it's just not making the news, at least not in terms of the financial aspects of it. So if you've seen your portfolios, if you've invested with us and you've seen your portfolios really shining, pardon the pun, a lot of that is the gold and silver. And also, Greg and I and a lot of people will use the term gold kind of generically when really it's precious metals. Now, gold is gold, but a lot of our clients, we do have invested in silver as well, and it's doing really well. So I hope you enjoyed this video. You all have a great week. See you next week. Bye-bye.